Right on, and welcome back to the Wreckless podcast. Here, a show about forgetting the rest of the days in the world and your trials and tribulations of life, and just sitting back and talking a little bit about food and booze, and people who have interesting lives and things to say. And today is definitely one of those days, man. Thank you, Alan, for sharing all that stuff, man. It's not over yet, dude. I still got more questions for you.
I got a lot more to talk about.
You're not just a pretty face. That's how it goes, bro.
He is a pretty gentleman.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta watch out, dude.
We like the three most,
baby.
three most handsome guys right now.
I dressed up for you guys today. That's what it is, man. That's what it is, dude. That's what it be is what it be. So if you like what you're hearing, guys, don't forget, subscribe, watch the other shows, comment. Let me know what you think on all of them, even if you love it, hate it, whatever. Tell me my hair looked bad today. It's okay. I'm down with it.
Embrace
and let me
your
know
haters.
What you think. Yeah, man, I'm down.
Let me tell you, your haters make you better. This is what I believe in philosophy. Your haters will make you better than your best friends, because your best friends will pat you on the back and say, good job, have a beer, relax. Your haters, man, they just keep you going. Well, fire that just keeps you wanting to go and go until you accomplish what you want.
The truth in that statement is when I was younger, I did a bunch of film and theater, and I actually toured as a European style clown for a while, and did artistic under other people's supervision, obviously, but we toured and did like mass performing and things of that nature. And at first, the people would come and they'd be like, dude, there always was a percentage of people that did not enjoy what we were doing, and we loved it. And I went to the director one day, I said, why, these people, like, doesn't it bother you? And he looked straight at me and he said, if 10% of the people don't like you, then you're not doing it right.
Yes.
So if you're not making somebody mad because you're being yourself, then you already pretty much screwed the pooch, dude. You're already too generic. Yeah. You're not going to make it. You don't have a stand. You're not different enough. And he told me, he goes, then you make 15% people mad in the right way. You're good. You start pissing off 20. You probably got to rethink what you're doing.
I have a picture.
But he had a general, and he's right. I still think with food that way. 100 people walk in, 10 of them aren't going to like me. It's okay, man. That's how it goes.
You can't make everyone like you, and if you try, you're going to fail. So why even try?
200%, man. 200%.
I have a picture of De Niro sitting in a chair like Goodfellas, and it says, if people are talking shit, you're doing something right.
Absolutely, man.
Embrace it.
Coming from De Niro, it's a little scary, dude. Anything that guy says, I'm like, ooh, fucking wild. And so Benny, man, I got some questions for you, because you're a far cry from anybody we've had on the show so far in your spot as being a brand ambassador. Everybody who had on with wineries and whoever, even somms, and they're doing their job and they're going out there, but they're a somm or they're a brand ambassador. They were at one time behind a stick, or they were a restaurant manager, or they were, and they either got out because that was too much, or they got out because they wanted to not live the restaurant lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And I don't knock that. I get it. You pretty soon you don't want to work nights and weekends or whatever, and that's not, if that's not your gig, or you have a family or whatever that case may be, they did it. You're like 100% brand ambassador on top of still running the game, bro.
Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
That's like, and running it well, right? Not like just limping in, with a broken toe and like.
I dance behind that bar, man. It's all about your groove behind that bar, looking good, your double stir, your stir and shake, really rocking it and looking good while you're doing it, which is hard. For me to look good, it's really hard, brother.
You wear the nice dress and the lipstick. The red lipstick helps, don't lie.
But yeah, no, I've been very blessed. I get to be a brand ambassador. I get to be a bartender. I get to be a bar consultant and founder and the lead for the Orange County United States Bartenders Guild. So I've had a very, very blessed career.
Yeah, dude, and it's just awesome to see that. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 44 now.
44? No, we're in the same. Hey, dude. Hey, that's not bad. I'm 40 going on 65 with my body in the kitchen, man. It's okay. Yeah. It's all right.
So I'm the oldest guy here?
Yeah. And
you look the youngest.
I'm 46.
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah. Look at this guy.
Yeah, well, I told you the facelifts were good. Dude.
I guess traveling the world and eating right, it really pays off.
Yeah, well.
It's all those good deeds. You're being blessed for the good deeds you do.
Thank you, man.
Watch out, his head's going to swell, his hat's going to pop off.
Let me ask you a question about bartending, though.
Sure.
But how different is it now, being 21 years in, as opposed to 10 years in or 5 years in?
I have had to completely
because you've done this over and over and over, but you're doing different things every few years. You're changing it up. So
no, you have to keep up with the kids. And so the first thing you did.
Well, let's be honest. The kids have to keep up with you.
Well, the
reason I'm gonna say that is because I always figure that if I'm on top of the game, no matter how old I am, I can teach them to do the hard stuff that I can only do once.
That's true.
that they can do over and over again.
Yeah,
but
no, that's true.
more than that, like, I mean, the difference is 10 years ago, what you're doing now as a bartender, 10 years ago didn't exist.
No,
Yeah,
not at all.
exactly.
So when I started, first thing you did was you put ice in the tin.
Yeah.
Then you poured in your booze.
Right.
Then you put in your fillers. You shook it. You poured it into a cup with ice.
Yeah.
Now you do not put ice in that thing first. You put in your syrups, your juices, then your modifiers. Now you put in your money, your main spirit. Then you put in the ice. You control the ice. You shake it till you get proper dilution. You pour it into a cup with no ice in it whatsoever. And when you're ready to go out, you ice it, you send it out. You want to control the ice just like a chef would control food over the flame. And so what I really believe is bartenders are the tribe of ice, chefs are the tribe of fire. We may be two totally different tribes,
Yeah.
but we are the people of flavor.
Dude.
And when we come together, man, something special really goes on.
That's it. If I can fit that on my chest and a tattoo between my nipples, it's happening. That's a great
what
saying,
about-
dude. That's awesome. I never heard it like that, but that is,
Thanks.
I agree with that. I know nothing about, I mean, I know how to drink a cocktail. I know how to look at it and go, that's good. I know how to taste balance and flavor, obviously. But the actual art of making the cocktails nowadays is so out of my realm from when I bartended. I was like the adios, get drunk, drink a bottle of, tequila while you're working and go home and come back and do it again the next day. That was it. I mean, when I bartended.
Let me ask you a
And that
quick
was-
question.
And that was it.
So you got a chef here, you got a great bartender, two great guys here. So you guys have a symbiotic relationship as well.
And don't say it's the haircut.
You're
Come on, dude.
Yeah, well, you guys are not
right.
related.
I saw it coming. Tony's with us, so you're outnumbered 3-1. I'm just letting you know.
It's going to pair great with things. You have to understand food to pair drinks as well. That's something that's been new
It is.
over the last 5 years. The whole drink and pairing, which this guy was one of the first guys to start that in Orange County. But how has that changed your bartending? Where somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to have a old fashioned." Like, do you talk about food? Say, "Hey, what are you thinking about getting to eat? Have you thought about pairing this with this?"
Yeah, it's
because a lot of people don't understand that, and they need your help.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. When you get a really good relationship between your head bartender and your head chef,
Right.
and you guys are sharing ingredients, creating things that really work together, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to both people sharing knowledge and kind of creating something that really works really well together. And that's what's key. There is the exact same things that you guys are doing in the kitchen, we're using to make ingredients.
200%.
And part of being a phenomenal bartender is I know how to make this ingredient so that I can put it in my cocktail. And so that's really what's key. That's a big thing right now. I can make syrups. I don't need to go in the kitchen to make syrups. That sugar will dissolve within 15 minutes. I can do that right behind the bar. Very seldom, unless I need to infuse like cinnamon, the flavor of cinnamon,
Right.
or steal flavor from something, do I really need to ever heat it? And so, I know how chefs are like, get the hell out of my kitchen. I don't want you in my kitchen. So I just try not to go in the kitchen and bother them. But most of the time that sugar will dissolve. I teach everybody, don't heat it up. Don't even use hot water, because mine will dissolve in 15 minutes. But yeah, the sugar will dissolve really quick by the time you use hot water, but then you have to wait for it to cool before you use it.
Are you dissolving with motion? Blenders?
No, I just
Straight up?
I just put it in a container. You put the container down. You walk by every couple of minutes. You shake it. You walk on, make your drinks, do your stuff behind the bar. That sugar will dissolve in 15 minutes.
Right, because simple syrup, the actual heating of it will actually give you a caramel flavor in your sugar rather than a pure flavor.
It does change.
And I can taste the difference in an old fashioned that has a caramel simple syrup versus a straight up simple syrup.
Oh yeah, totally.
Usually I see them do it with blenders. We do it on low. We have these like blend techs that are awesome.
Yeah.
But like that's where I've seen it with motion. Stand still. That's cool. You can do it that quick.
Now, if I'm going to use an herb, like say I want to make a rosemary.
Yeah, like
syrup.
weed, right?
Yeah,
No, I'm just
exactly.
kidding.
That's
I'm
right.
kidding.
That's the new thing. I haven't really played with that, but yeah. So if I want to do something like that, make like a rosemary syrup, then I'll give it a quick blend, real quick, and that way I don't have to heat it. But the last thing I ever want to do is heat, because I don't want to work hard, because I'm lazy and I'm old.
Well, yeah. Well, I agree with half of that.
But and the fact of the matter is, why dirty pans? Why take up all
Totally.
this time? Why just be as productive as you can
So,
and try to figure out.
I got to
your
ask you
ways.
that. What about sous videing at like negative temperature, like at 116? That's still like
Chef
room
won't let me
temperatures.
play with this sous vide, so
Really?
I don't know what's going on with that.
Chefs say a lot. You just what you do is rub and tug a little bit, and then you use the sous vide while he's not
So
looking.
Cody,
That's so good.
coming back to pairing, I'm really
Sure.
interested because I'm a foodie, obviously,
Yeah, man.
and I love cocktails and everything. But how do you feel about menus that have menu items, say dinner items or lunch items per se, and having a pairing suggestion with that on the menu to say, hey, this goes great with this cocktail.
I love the
Think about
concept.
that.
I love the concept, and we've done it. I've done it on and off. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Here's the biggest issue with that is that it comes back to we're in Orange County. We're in a place where people still like if they want a red wine with a steak, and I tell them 100 times, I'm telling you, you need a crisp white. This has foie butter. It's 180. It's 190 days in.
Yeah.
You're gonna get mushrooms, cheese, and whatever. If you put a red wine on it, you're just gonna bury it. You're not gonna be able to finish the steak. And they're like, nope, red wine goes with steak.
Sure.
And you're like, no, I'm telling you. And they're like, eh. So at a certain degree, absolutely, I've done it. It works. And with cocktails, it's hard because it's become so diverse that people are married to what they're doing. That if I were to tell somebody that this dish, like I just made this dish last night, actually, that I put on that's friggin' was delicious. And I made a blueberry and caramelized onion demi-glace with a turducken stock. And it was roulade with American prosciutto on the outside and salami inside, white cheddar cheese, basil, and then over like some bitter Brussels sprouts and just a little bit of bacon au jus underneath it,
Dude,
right?
you're
And that's
killing
it.
me right now.
And it really is. I mean, it's one of those dishes to me tells a story. It's like welcome to fall. This is how it goes, right? But I was like, hey man, we put this a nice gin. We put an elderflower cocktail on top of it that is meant to lighten the palate, right? High in alcohol to take the fat out. It had the like it brought out the blueberry in the drink, right? It had all these essence. But if somebody doesn't like gin, then what am I referring to, right? People are married to a whiskey. Well, what whiskey should I have with this? Well, whatever one you want, man.
Okay, but
Right?
how many people come into the bar,
you know what I mean?
right?
Like,
and you ask them like, what do you want? Because I hear this all the time when I'm at a bar. So he says, I don't know, what's a great drink?
Oh,
Right?
I love freestyle.
Oh, yeah.
I love freestyle. I love
Right.
doing things that are not on the menu and just rolling with it. What flavors do you like? What spirit do you
Right.
like?
But a lot of people-
you like bubbles with that,
Exactly.
man.
Right.
Okay, I can make bubbles with that.
But a lot of people that come in, though, don't really know what they want. And if you have some really unique items on your cocktail menu, right? I would think making
most
a
of the
suggestion.
time, you're going to sell what's on your
a
cocktail.
lot of people
list.
would be maybe
a
open
lot
to
of the time, but let me tell you, man,
The dealer's choice that works.
I totally believe in that. My bartenders are really awesome at being able to freestyle.
Yeah.
They know that if you match this much citrus, this much syrup,
Right.
this much spirit, this much modifier, adjust this, you're going to have balance.
So here's
how
the
you're
key
gonna-
to that is there's two questions. There's one is you guys are smart enough to know and are professionals to go, hey, tell me what you like and then make something they like.
Oh, totally.
What I'm getting at is what we normally get is somebody will come in and go, oh, I'll just drink what you're drinking. And I'm like, well, I drink whiskey over ice, bro. And they're like, oh, I don't want that. You're like, well, come on, dude. Like,
It's
you can't
kinda
just
like-
tell me. And that's what kind of putting it on a menu does. Is me saying that I like this gin cocktail with whatever. I'm not asking them any questions.
Right.
I'm assuming
But
they
it's not
like
saying
X.
that you need to or that you're urging them to do. It's just saying it's just an idea.
The
you're planting
pairing's
a
going to
seed.
be great.
because it's going to be an incredible cocktail.
Let me tell you what I believe the future of cocktails are going to be is experience cocktails.
Right.
Where it's kind of interactive. It doesn't need to be molecular mixology or
Right.
anything that's crazy like that, but it does need to be something where you bring the guest in and it's an actual experience that they're having. One cocktail I made is Neapolitan Negroni. So it's strawberry Campari. I used vanilla Nolet's gin and cacao infused Carpano Antica. And so they're in little glasses on a plate with vanilla with whipped cream that's kind of made from the vanilla beans that we use to infuse the Nolettes. And it comes with a rocks glass, large rock, and a spoon. And you can taste them all by themselves, and you can pour them all together, kind of stir the cocktail yourself. And it's kind of something that you get to experience. Everyone sees it kind of coming to you, and you're
Totally.
like, wow. You know, another cocktail concept I have going on is you make a cocktail. It's a stirred cocktail. You pour 3/4 of that into a tiny little port glass. Then you add citrus and syrup. You shake it. You pour 3/4 of that into the port glass. Then you pour the rest, which is only about halfway into a port glass, and you put some bubbles on top of that. So you have a spirit forward, you have a sour, and you have champagne cocktail.
Right.
But it's all from the same base. So it's kind of like an evolution of a cocktail.
Yeah, people want to do shit now.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. People like to do
creative.
stuff. Yeah, they want to see things. They want to do stuff. I mean, it came back to, I mean, we had back in the day was the naughty or nice. Do you remember that? Everybody made fun of me. I was like, we should make a naughty or nice because I really was into larceny at the time. Not to blaspheme or anything, but right now if I drank that, I'd be like one larceny floor. It's so strong. But we would larceny on the side. Then I made this infusion, a sous vide infusion with at the time it was James Wood that I was working with. But we bagged 4 gallons at a time, sous vide it for 6 hours, came out, and he would just pour it. And it was port and red wine and, a bunch of stuff that tasted good. You can either have it naughty, but you take the shot and then chase it, or you could have it nice and pour one into the other.
Oh, nice.
And it tasted delicious.
That is cool.
Right, and it was that
you
simple.
get to choose.
And you choose.
It's like a choose your own adventure book.
Right.
Where you kind of decide where you're going to go with it.
I think that stuff does work. I think it's putting it together and having a talented team that makes it happen and staying on top of the innovativeness of it that helps a lot for sure.
You have to think, man. You have to find that box. You have to break down all the walls.
First, you
got to
go
outside of it.
First, you got to get a box.
You got to get the box down first to break out of it.
Then you got to put a hole in the box.
That's right.
That's
Let's
what I
change
heard.
the subject
Anyway.
really quick. What do you think is the best way to promote a bar? Like what are
Social
the
media?
assets
You are
that need to
100% correct.
Because a lot of bars just are struggling with that. Because when I get hired, people are saying, we're not selling enough drinks or food. We're not getting enough people through the door. Like, what do you think help? I mean, obviously,
Your
great
social
cocktail
media.
photos. Do you think, my suggestion for marketing is for somebody like you, or if somebody comes to me and says, hey, we need to get our bar cranking, I say, do interviews with this guy. He's super knowledgeable. Do a little short, 30-second, 60-second interviews, have a very specific topic, going over different types of liquor, drinks, why things pair really well. And create all that little what we call micro content, especially for Instagram, which is the biggest one right now for foodies and drink lovers.
It all boils down to content. You are 100% correct. If you are not putting out,
but bars are not
amazing
doing
content,
that.
They're not. People are behind in the time of where we are moving. I'm an old man.
Right.
Honestly, if I can understand that the new media is the individual media. The new media is the Instagrammers,
right,
the Facebookers, the YouTubers, the podcasters. That is the future. We are rolling into cable TV is about to die.
Thank you, God.
YouTube is coming into its own channel. Disney's making its own Netflix. I mean, we are in the most exciting time. You need to provide content.
Video, micro content video. That's one of the biggest demands I'm getting right now in my business because I do video as well as photography.
The international man of mystery, see?
Making 15,
baby.
15, 30-second, 45-second, 60-second videos. If I was marketing my place and you were my head bartender there, right, in charge of cocktails, like every day I would shoot a video with you going into your knowledge base. You got 21 years of knowledge plus beyond what an average bartender would know over 20 years because you're so entrenched in the cocktail, where everything comes from, obviously, the brands and things like that. But creating those videos and blasting those videos
it's
up
key.
there is huge because the biggest thing that people need to know about food and drinks, in my opinion, since I've never
where
worked,
they're at,
I've never worked in
good.
the restaurant, is that they need the knowledge. So you guys are experts. You should be making videos every day. It's just a little snippet about a particular dish. Right?
Dun dun dun. But
actually,
more. I get what you're saying.
But more.
I was doing it a lot for a while, and it
It's
became,
when people learn about something exciting. Like I'm listening to you describe one of your dishes right now. I'm like, that freaking thing better be coming out here because I want to eat right now.
we can do
right?
that. Yeah,
But your knowledge,
We
and
can
your
make that
knowledge,
happen.
right?
Do it.
But breaking your knowledge down and all the years you have of that knowledge and breaking that in a little micro content is the most powerful way right now to promote a restaurant.
I gotta ask you, Vinny. So and everybody comes on does this, dude. Like I'm gonna switch topics because not because I want to, because it intrigues me. Were you 5 years old and wanted to be a bartender? Like,
when Cocktail came out,
dude,
that was it.
Because I was
Cocktail and Backdraft. It was like, I want to be a bartender or I want to be a fireman. Those are the two things that I want to do.
But I like drinking more than being hot.
Hey, why don't you make a drink called Backdraft, man? Where you
that would be bitching.
Instead of
Light it
fire
on
or
fire.
something, man.
Yeah.
So my question is, when you were like, what led into all this, man? I mean, when I grew up, I literally was going to Fridays with my mom. We'd, like after football practice, she would take me to Fridays and I'd eat and I'd be like, one day I'm going to be a bartender, you know, and everybody would be like, yeah, whatever. Sure enough, I was a bartender at Fridays for 2.5 years, right? That's where I learned how to do it.
Yeah,
and,
that's awesome.
And believe it or not, it was like, you know, what do you want to do? I was like, well, I was an actor, I was a this, and I was that, and I went and did them all. But one of them was definitely like, I want to be in the restaurant business, and here I sit. So I don't know, like, where did it all start for you, man?
Yeah, no, I started getting into digging it when I first saw Cocktail. That was really what a lot of bartenders got into. From that, you know, I was wanted to be a pilot. So I was like, well, I got to pay for my flight time and I got to do all this stuff. And really what I wanted to do was be a pilot who flies over the fires, lets out all that crap and puts out the fires, which would be the greatest fucking job in the world.
And then go get drunk.
And so, you know, it's a fireman bartender concept. But, you know, I started bartending. I love bartending. It's the funnest job. If I became a complete full-time brand ambassador, I would lose that.
Right.
And so that's you know, losing something like that would be like losing a piece of me.
I get it.
It would be so hard.
I get it. I grew up doing theater. When I did that, I transitioned to restaurants, and then I transitioned into developing restaurants. And really, if you look at it, I developed restaurants like a theater. I developed restaurants where there's always something to see. There's always something going on. You have a stage and a stage. You have presence and presence. You have lighting that works. You have, and the idea behind all the restaurants we did is that eventually they all became, like this one being the most of them, became a theater. So in that same aspect, right, that your past involves what you do now. It's like 100%. I have taken all those things and put them into one, but my whole history. Now you got to light your bar on fire. That's what that all went down to.
Yeah, well, no, you do. You have an amazing experience here. I just used your bathroom. I had a monkey laughing at me while I was using the bathroom. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's actually a picture of my daughter. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, this is a super cool place. But really what I want to see for bartenders, especially bartenders in Orange County, is a future. We are coming to a culinary scene. I'm seeing you at food festivals. You know, you're starting to see bartenders at these food festivals. That's what I want to see. I want to see bartenders getting the same respect as chefs are getting. I want to see establishments go, I need an amazing chef. I need a rock star GM who's going to run the floor. I need an executive mixologist who's going to run our entire bar program and make everything work. And we're not there yet. And it breaks my heart, man. I really hope I get to see that while I'm still a bartender.
Right.
But
well, do you think the word mixology has a bad term now?
Nah, dude. You know what?
I mean, because it depends.
So much
It depends who's saying it, I think.
Yeah, I don't call it's kind of like this. I don't call myself a mixologist. You know, Mick Jagger doesn't call himself a rock star. He calls himself a musician. I call myself a bartender. Now, other people can call Mick Jagger a rock star. And other people can call me a mixologist, but, you know, I'm a bartender.
Right.
And I love being a bartender. And I'm not looking for a fancy name. But on the same sense, I want to see bartenders get fancy titles. And I would love for them to be executive bartender, but it doesn't really have a ring. So I would love to see establishments starting to take their beverage program seriously, starting to understand that those three people are a must if you want to have a successful restaurant.
I agree.
And really seeing bartenders take a stake in these restaurants, partner up, you know, get a share and become something really big. I want to see Orange County just destroy it. I want to see Orange County become so big that we unite all of Southern California and people are start to go, yeah, there's New York and there's Southern California. And that would be really awesome.
That would be epic. That would be
really awesome.
With that being said, we're going to take a break and come back because I want to try some of this whistle pick, man.
It's whistle pick time.
All right.
All right.
We'll be right back.